Alrighty, team. Season of Discovery. What's next for World of Warcraft? So they have final phase, supposedly final phase, which I'm hoping it's the final phase, because I quit Season of Discovery after phase 1. And what, like phase 8 now? With the Scarlet Crusade raid? And it looks amazing, by the way. I'm gonna be reacting to the trailer next, but it looks so cool. My favorite group in World of Warcraft, by the way. Let's check this out.
Season of Discovery is a project that I feel like every game developer dreams of being able to work on one day. Being able to take their favorite game and add something to it and change it up in interesting ways.
We set out to do something bold and different when we announced Season of Discovery at BlizzCon in 2023, and the journey that we've been on with you has been amazing.
It was late in 2022 where we really started brainstorming as a team on what were we going to do after Season of Mastery.
It went too quick.
We came up with some crazy
That's
ideas.
what made me quit.
Is it going to be a survival version of vanilla World of Warcraft? Were we going to add new classes or new specializations? But ultimately, what we saw that people were really most passionate about, they wanted more content in vanilla World of Warcraft. They wanted to have the meta disrupted so that leveling was more interesting and not predetermined by existing guides. And so throughout 2023, we continued to work on building our rune system out.
I feel they did a great job with it. It was fun.
And apply them to
But,
their gear and play their class in a lot of different ways.
When we embarked on the journey of making
they released content way too quick.
with the runes was to make sure that people felt like they were playing a complete class in a vanilla WoW setting. So we've essentially taken a base that has 4 healing specializations and upped it to about 6. We've taken a base that has 1.5 really effective tanks to 6. And we've taken a base that has 12 DPS specializations and increased it to at least 20. And all of them perform very closely to each other, which is one of the major goals, is that you shouldn't feel that bad playing a class that isn't the best one in the game.
I'm kind of sad I didn't get to do Warlock tanking stuff.
We were getting the Black Fathom Deeps ready, and then we heard that we were going to be able to be a part of the announcement at BlizzCon and be up on stage next
I
to
did the Black Fathom Deeps raid.
After they announced the World Soul Saga, and we get to
And that's when I
Season of
quit.
Discovery, which was incredibly humbling and exciting at the same time. What we were announcing seemed a little crazy at the time. Mages that can heal, rogues that can tank, the level capped at 25. I'm doing a 10-man raid in Black Fathom Deeps. What exactly is going on? And honestly, the more exciting thing was actually seeing people get into the demo station and all the demo stations being occupied.
RGB!
And it was a surreal experience seeing.
I can't wait to put together my next computer.
People are pretty excited.
And with Season of Discovery, we've been able to bring content that has long been hinted at or unfinished back from the original development of the game to light and to players for the first time, including the Karazhan Crypts dungeon.
It's kind of this storied, legendary part of World of Warcraft.
There was a lot of history with this place. It was an immense weight to try and tackle something of this magnitude.
Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah, it was very scary. Like, not just for the players actually experiencing the place and going through the darkness, but us actually designing something of this magnitude was very daunting. A lot of the times when we were doing stuff is we're looking at what contemporary things are doing, and which
Not gonna lie,
was built originally is looking at.
I bet you we're like halfway through this video,
Go back to the past and see how they were doing things.
and we don't know what's
There's
next.
themes rolling forward, and
Good thing is when
What's next? We know about
We just
this.
do it.
So
Everything-
the typical workflow is
We're almost
identifying
halfway.
items, creating them, statting them, naming them.
It's like they're showing us. They're introducing Season of Discovery. I don't fucking care. I gave up after Black Fathom Deeps. You released shit too quick. We had what, like 4 weeks of Black Fathom Deeps?
I've just made items that I wish were in the game when
I know it
played
wasn't
in
4, but it's
2004.
pretty
So
close.
when making items, I always want to make things that are fun, zany, but I also want to make things that are really viable. So I have a bunch of things like the Whimsical World Warper that takes you to 33 different locations in Azeroth. I have the Gift of Gob that helps people transform into a goblin. You could use it on pets. You could use it on your allies. You give people a little more freedom. And then we have other items like Viscera, which is like a badass sword that can knock people back. We have Calibolg that turns you into a big boulder and lets you roll into people.
That's
We
kinda
also
cool.
have things like the Cluck Cannon, which I don't know what its purpose is, but it serves some kind of purpose.
it was a whole lot of experimentation. There was a whole lot of let's just throw something at the wall and see what happens, and we just kept iterating and iterating. Eventually we found a a good working formula for it, and we got some pretty cool things.
Obviously, the darkness mechanic is the big thing in the Karazhan Crypts, kind of the big point of difference. That was born of this desire to keep up the discovery, the nature of Season of Discovery. And the Crypt is unique because people had explored the place already. People knew the layout, people knew what was in there. To make it surprising and make it feel like people were discovering stuff, we introduced this light and dark thing. We weren't sure how it was going to be received.
Have they just like put a compilation video together
they couldn't see their teammates
with all the seasons?
Well, that's the emotional
And they're
connection we
announcing?
wanted.
We want
What's going
to
on here?
really hammer home the fact that it is darkness. Like, you are in a place that is completely void of light.
Originally, the characters would hold a torch in their hand,
tiny torch,
and it was this really small torch, this tiny little light. You couldn't see anything. It was super annoying. I know we tried to.
I am
a lot
positive
of
we
horror
have seen
tropes.
this shit.
The eyes disappearing in the darkness, all these traps, all these horrible monsters. We tried to make this chandelier fall from the ceiling. I spent maybe 2 days on that, and it did not work. We ended up adding a lot of very cute touches to the crypts. I'm not even sure players noticed. We have things like we have cockroaches that will scatter when the light touches them, for example. I haven't seen any posts about that yet.
Those are just for us, you know? When I go in on live and I see it.
I haven't seen any posts about that yet. I mean, considering it was a previous phase, this sounds like a compilation video to where they're trying to announce something. Like, talk about it right after it happened, but this happened a while back, man.
I'm like, that's right.
That's us.
That's for
us.
me.
Those are our cockroaches. We had the mimics, the chests you open are sometimes mimics, and they'll eat you. And I don't know if anyone's discovered this. I'm going to spoil it. If they kill you, they will actually spit you out of the...
I'm going to spoil it. Have we not? Have we had this shit yet? I could have sworn we've done it.
Yeah,
It's like viscera comes out,
it's actually,
blood comes
it's
out.
pretty gross.
Yeah.
Look out for that next time you die in the crypts.
The original plans for the opera event, we had some very funny ideas to start, like the goblins picking each other up to swing at players.
They would pick each other up, and it would become this increasingly long goblin sword.
Goblin sword, yeah.
We will use that, yeah. Yeah, cut this. Someone will pick up someone and use them as a weapon. That's a guarantee. You can quote us on that. I think that philosophy of experimentation is really at the heart of Season Discovery and whatever comes next for Classic.
I love that boss model, by the way.
We are experimenting a lot in that place.
OG Merogar from
So
Ice Crown
for
Citadel.
fans, a little bit of a peek behind the curtain. The Scarlet Enclave raids, certainly the Ashburn questline that's related to it, the stories and the quests that are associated with it as well. It's actually originally intended to be a lot smaller of an experience, but when we saw the response to the Karazhan Crypts dungeon, the attunement questline associated with that, and some of the continuations of the narratives that we had set up earlier in Season of Discovery, it actually really encouraged us to go even bigger with the Scarlet Enclave raid. What started off as a small 5-boss dungeon suddenly grew to a full 8-boss raid, which we think really delivers on the promise of what players have been looking forward to for this content, really over the course of their entire Season of Discovery journey.
Probably the most difficult thing that I've had to do itemization-wise so far has been creating the Corrupted Ashbringer as a legendary. Legendaries deserve a lot of respect. Players are going to want them to be iconic, and making something like the Ashbringer, which is a weapon of legend, even in real life to some degree, you want that to be evocative of what it feels like to be the Ashbringer when you wield it. I had 3 big things I had in mind when making it, and the first one was I wanted to make sure that it kept the lifesteal proc of the original Corrupted Ashbringer. The second one is I wanted to make sure that that proc was more effective and still good, but also scaled up a little bit, a little more beef to it. And the third thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make the weapon feel like when it procs, it's evocative of the Ashbringer is now on the battlefield. The Ashbringer has emerged and is turning the tides of battle. The Ashbringer, in my mind, is a weapon that overcomes insurmountable odds. The more you're ganged up on, the more powerful the Ashbringer is. The more times it can proc, the more people it will proc on, and the more it will fuel you. And the more it will destroy your enemies too.
One thing we get asked a lot about the end of Season of Discovery is what will happen to my characters? Well, we don't really consider Season of Discovery to have an end, and we have no plans whatsoever to shut down the servers. We want to make sure that everyone has access to their characters and the achievements they've made for years to come. Our team has some really amazing things planned, and we really can't wait for you to see what else we're working on. Until then, thank you so much for playing Season of Discovery with us.
Wait.
They've made for years to come.
Okay, so they're not shutting down the servers for years to come, and
Our team has some really amazing things planned, and we really can't wait for you to see what else we're working on.
they have some really amazing things planned, and they cannot wait for us to see what they're working on.
Until then, thank you so much for playing Season
Until
of Discovery
then.
with us.
Thank you. What's next? Huh? What? That's a head fucking scratcher. I am what? What's next? Did we just get a compilation of seasons 1 through 8? For season... First of all, close the fucking servers at this point. Because there's nothing next.